can you share when exactly did you spotted your first vitiligo? How was your reaction and your family's reaction?
Yeah, my first spot, came in my left hand,
Mm-hmm.
right below the elbow. There was a white dot. Actually, that was the first. It was in year 2012, end of
Mm-hmm.
2000, basically. So
Okay.
it started then, and after that was the first patch, and gradually within a short duration, I started getting a lot more patches, right
Mm-hmm.
from my hand to my leg, and then my face, like that. Patches started developing in every area.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it started actually.
Okay.
2012, end of 2012.
Okay. And you shared that you got in your vitiligo in your 20s. So how was like for me, I got in when I was very, early as a kid. I was maybe 10 or 11. So how was it different for you? Because you were in your teens or, young adult sort of. How was your reaction? Because what it's not very common to, for 20 something to just spot a patch and now your skin has two color. One, of course, we are whitish, that is Indian color, and then, of course, it's white. So, how was that for you to deal with as a young adult?
I was 22 at the time
Mm-hmm.
when I first saw the patches. So
Okay.
initially it was difficult
Mm-hmm.
because suddenly you're getting a white patch,
Mm-hmm.
so you are little worried and you don't know what to do because even
Exactly.
doctors are not clear as to
Mm-hmm.
whether it spread or not because they too don't know whether the vitiligo will spread or not initially. So they also didn't give me as clarity as to what the condition. They just said it's vitiligo, then nothing much.
Okay.
So I frequently changed around 4 or 5 doctors within that
Okay.
maybe that 1 year.
Hmm.
Within that 1 year, I saw 4 or 5 dermatologists actually because one I was not getting result. I jumped to another from there, another one.
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, I was seeing a doctor, which she was a dermatologist, but her idea about vitiligo is very different. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
started suggesting me diet and all. Initially, I had results. Initially, I was seeing results because her like usually dermatologists don't suggest you diets
Hmm.
actually because they go for a conventional treatment of UV therapy and all, so many steroids and all. But she was little different, I can say. She was suggesting me diets. She didn't put me on steroids much. UV
Okay.
therapy is what happening, and
Mm-hmm.
some vitamin tablets because I was following a strict diet. So
Okay.
fill up at diet maybe kind of if you are not having that per day some food requirement, so for that reason she was giving me some vitamin tablets to have
Hmm.
every day. So
Okay.
this was kind of thing
Okay.
there. Initial I started her treatment maybe in 2013, maybe 2013 or around 30 I started, and
Hmm.
I lasted till 2018.
Okay.
2018, I did treatment for 5 years, 5 6 years. I
Mm-hmm.
did treatment. Yeah,
Okay.
took her
So,
treatment.
like, when you had your patches, were you like aware that it is vitiligo? Were you researching for information? What was like that for you? Were there right information available or not? So, how was that for you? Were you looking for it or not?
Uh, Actually, 2012, back then I was not exposed to much of social media at that time. I didn't know anyone, except the me, like who had vitiligo around my
Mhm.
surroundings or anywhere. So initially, people were little negative, obviously,
Uh-huh.
because there is a lot of negativity around the condition, as you
Right.
might be knowing. Like it's all curse and all this, so many
Mm-hmm.
negative stuff is floating around. So for me also it was initially it was a lot of negative thing, but 2016 onwards I had my first smartphone. I bought my first smartphone. From
Okay.
then onwards I got in touch with a lot of vitiligo people in
Mm.
the social media mainly, like Aru's Akash Tiwari, you might be knowing from
Yeah,
Aru's
yeah,
foundation.
yeah.
I started following him. Then
Hmm.
so many others I got in touch with in Facebook and all. So
Hmm.
then I felt okay, good. I'm not the alone person.
Yeah,
There are so many there.
exactly.
So then I was feeling a bit confident, and it was okay. Like
Hmm.
by the time I was okay with it.
Okay.
Not okay, but I was kind of okay. I'm not alone, kind of a feeling.
So basically,
And
yeah.
I
So
can share
basically,
something.
yeah. So eventually, it's like when you have information out there, when you see people who look somewhere exactly like you, it does give you some sort of boost, right? Some sort of confidence
Yeah.
that I'm not alone
Mm.
who is going through some sort of this condition where my skin has two colors, and there are people out there who go through something very similar. So it does give you some sort of confidence to come out and talk about it, maybe, and accept it eventually, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Sure. Yes.
Agree. So even when you were talking, Puneeth, you told me that there was some sort of chemical factory that you were working on, and that might be one of the reasons you had vitiligo. Would you like to elaborate a bit on that as well?
Yes, yes, surely. Like in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
I was working in a mechanical industry. Like it was a factory.
Uh-huh.
They were into wall manufacturing. Wall is nothing but the globe wall and a gate wall. This,
Mm,
this kind of factory.
mm.
So I was working as a labor there. I was basically working as kind of a labor. So
Okay.
we were into contact with some chemicals. Maybe then, and also I was, as I was not, it was a little far, not, it was around 60, 70 kilometers from my home. So I used to stay there for a
Mm,
week. Like in every week there used to be shift change. Like 1 week if I'm having a morning shift, next week I'm having a night shift. So
okay.
every week there's a shift change. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'm coming every once in a week. I'm coming back home, and then I'm returning back once again
Okay.
to the work again.
Okay.
So maybe that was also kind of because I was having a lot of outside food,
Hmm.
and also the kind of time, not timings, yeah, the shift change. The
Hmm.
shift, maybe it was playing something. It was
Hmm.
maybe I was not adjusting to the shift. Well, like 1 week they are having a shift, and again a change in the shift. So
Hmm.
maybe all these things kind of added up, and maybe after that I had a vitiligo. When I left that company and when I returned back home,
Hmm.
I had a small patch by then.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of treatment have you taken for your vitiligo up until now? Can you like?
Yeah, allopathy,
Mhm.
homeopathy. Homeopathy I've done for a
Uh-huh.
brief time, for
Okay.
some few months, I can say.
Hmm.
Then Ayurvedic, I didn't consult a full-fledged Ayurvedic doctor, but I consulted a practitioner, I can say, because
Okay.
as you once I was working previously in a service field where I used to travel to different locations. There I
Hmm.
used to meet people, then they used to suggest me. So
Uh,
like that, one person suggested me this like the person who I took, like whose medicine I took. He was a Ayurvedic practitioner.
okay.
So that person who referred me, that one, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he then gave me his number. I talked to him. Then he just told me about the vitiligo. This is the condition, and started explaining about it. Then I felt okay. I've tried one, two, three by then. Homeopathy I tried, and
Hmm.
allopathy I tried. So many doctors, nothing was working. So I felt okay. Let's try this one. Let's see what results I get. So that was maybe the blunder I did, because I was already going for the UV therapies. Like
Hmm.
one side allopathy was happening for me. The
Hmm.
treatments were on. Like I in that they on that kind of one side I was doing allopathy. I also tried this one.
Huh.
Maybe that was a big mistake I did, or I don't know what was it.
Hmm.
So he gave me some powder and all this to apply
Hmm.
and shoot to the early morning sun, and
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
this kind of the oil and all this. So many things he gave me, uh, and suddenly it increased my vitiligo. My in my hand,
Hmm.
it was very patchy there in
Hmm.
my hand.
Hmm.
So I started applying. Within maybe a couple of weeks, fully vitiligo started increasing a lot. Within a month, I can say. Within a month, vitiligo fully started. Like in my hand, it's fully white.
Hmm.
Then I was like, even my mom was seeing my progress. She was
Yeah.
telling me, okay, yeah, vitiligo has spread now. So she was, I think it's not working for you, that treatment.
Hmm.
I think you have better stop it. Then I thought, okay, yeah, means, yeah, it's better to stop it because I think
Yeah.
something is. So I stopped it. And at that time, I also stopped allopathy because what happened, my doctor, I told you, which I was consulting, that lady, she was on giving me the diet and all this. She was a very strict doctor. Like, and
Okay.
if I don't stick to the diet,
Hmm.
she would scold me like a mom, like mom how used to scold me like that.
Hmm.
She was kind of that kind of a person. She was very. So I after that I didn't even go to her
Hmm.
after, because if I go in this kind of state, she would be scolding me like, what happened, or why this happened, or vitiligo. She would say, never come, no,
Hmm.
don't come directly.
Hmm.
So I didn't go after that. 2018 I stopped. By then I had accepted. I had
Hmm.
accepted because vitiligo had spread considerable amount.
Hmm.
I thought it, I think whatever happens, like, whether it spreads or doesn't spread, I don't care.
Hmm.
If somebody tells me anything, it's because that it had taken me 5 6 years, five six,
Hmm.
as I told you, 2012 to
Right.
2018,
Hmm.
6 years of trying out different, and then acceptance came to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can say
Okay.
2018. So that I didn't try any medicine. I just like accepted myself. However, if the patches spread or doesn't spread, I don't care.
Okay. So, Puneet, you are now completely depigmented. That is
Mm.
completely, you're in a one color, that is vitiligo. And before acceptance and now after acceptance, as you told me, what was the difference between your self-esteem issues, or were there any hesitation to, go socially out and talking to people? What was the difference once you started accepting your vitiligo patches just the way they are?
Um, Initially, obviously, like I was little hesitant as to, like, go about, go to, if somebody is asking about me, about the condition also, I was not that confident to explain to him about the condition, because in case if there is some negative thing he's telling me, it
Hmm.
would, hinder me. It would always, be in my mind, like,
Yeah.
why is
Hmm.
being asked all these questions. So,
Hmm.
but 2018, after that, I started explaining to people. I didn't care, like, even
Okay.
if something is being negative, because acceptance had already happened. So I
Hmm.
know about the conditions. There has like, nobody knows about me rather
Yeah.
than me. So I think after that, nothing, hindered me or, troubled me as to
Hmm.
somebody is asking me anything. I
Hmm.
was okay with. I would explain to him the condition and all this.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, what would you suggest to someone who developed vitiligo maybe in his 20s or 30s? Like, what would be your one suggestion to that person?
Suggestion would be, initially, obviously, acceptance will not happen
Hmm.
within time. It's very rare. I think
Right.
nobody would accept it even from the initial time itself,
Hmm.
because we'll try out different medicine. So you can try out different medicine. In case if you're finding a result, then,
Hmm.
well and good.
Right.
No, yeah, but I think try out different medication and be positive. Be in such some social media.
Hmm.
Be in interaction with people who are having vitiligo. That would be
Right.
good, because you need someone like
Hmm.
having the same condition once initially, because
Right. Right.
you don't know, you can interact with him. Some
Hmm.
issues you are having with the condition, if it's spreading or not spreading, you can talk to them, and then kind of speak to about the condition as to what's happening and everything. There's a big community out there, so you
Hmm.
will connect to someone or the other,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
from within. So I think you can do that. Then gradually acceptance will have come. I
Okay.
think
Okay.
once you have tried out so many
Hmm.
and nothing seems to be working,
Yeah.
then acceptance will come. I
Okay.
feel,
Okay.
because see, to people we can't say as to, because everyone's different. Everyone
Right.
thinks, and everybody's life is different. So
Right. Right.
we don't know. We can't say. We can't put a cutout rule as to this is the way. Actually, this
Yeah.
is how we need to do it. Like, and
Completely.
everybody has their own way.
Hmm.
So somebody would accept maybe from the initial days, but some they will take time. For
Yeah.
me, it took, as I told you, 6 7 years of
Hmm.
having the condition, and then acceptance came.
Hmm.
So that's it. Yeah, try out.
So basically, what you're suggesting, Puneet, is take your time, but accept eventually your condition just the way it is. There's no harm,
Yeah,
and reach out
mm,
for as many solutions as possible. Maybe try different medications, even try and reach out to different kind of communities and connect with people who already have this kind of
mm,
condition in order for you to
mm.
have that kind of support, right?
Okay. And
Yeah.
also gain knowledge as much as you
Mhm.
can about
Very
the condition. The problem is actually like somebody asking you and you don't know much about the
important.
condition. Then
Mm,
you are also, because in case somebody is negative, you
mm.
can
Right.
then counter him with the positive things about the
Agreeing.
condition. Because see, people just speak without knowledge. They
Mm.
don't know about the condition. Whereas you have lived with the condition, so you know everything. You have felt, you
Right.
experienced the condition, so you know how it works. What
Mm-hmm.
is the thing? That's how I think knowledge gaining is important. You have to have a lot of knowledge about the condition. There are so much materials out
Yeah.
there. Internet,
Earlier
so
there
much.
wasn't, but now, like today, there's lots and lots of information available about the condition. Plus, you can even connect with communities, talk to people who already have this condition. So it's much easier today with social media and everything. So yeah, I completely agree with your point that gain knowledge. There's no one better out there than you yourself understanding what's going on with your body.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Usually, one more thing is, as I told you, like gain knowledge.
Hmm.
Uh, there are groups. I already have sent the
Yeah.
links
Yeah.
in the group.
Yeah.
These groups help me a lot actually. The
Hmm.
guys keep on monitoring, kind of checking out the messages in the group, like what they are discussing, and all this. So it's a good thing. Like you have to keep on checking if
Hmm.
there is any medication or some method is there or whatever. It is good for me personally. It's good. I don't know about people, like how
Okay.
they are. They are different. Everybody is different. So
Hmm.
I like to learn about it. I like to like like research about it, what's
Hmm.
happening, what is this condition, and everything. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So my final question is, do you still seek out for treatment or no, you have completely accepted it and have moved on in your life?
Yeah, now moved on. There's no, because what happened, see, 2020,
Mhm.
I fully depigmented. Naturally,
Okay.
depigmentation happened. As you
Mhm.
can say, I'm very fair now.
Hmm.
So the vitiligo has spread for me
Hmm.
because I went to abroad country.
Mhm.
There, because the weather conditions maybe,
Hmm.
and vitiligo started spreading. And
Hmm.
then when I returned back to India, I had already depigmented.
Mhm.
So I started getting a lot of compliments. One time, this condition, so many things were said, not said, but people were
Hmm.
looking at me, staring at me. But the same condition, I'm getting compliments now,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm depigmented. So
Yeah, so
see
people were basically questioning you earlier and now complimenting you on that very particular
yeah,
condition.
particular condition.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why time, you never know with time. Sometimes
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the same thing can be your strength. Your weakness can be your strength.
Yeah,
Like
completely.
with some time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all fine. It's all fine now. So I'm not trying anything. It's depigmented. So there's no trying or anything. It's already accepted. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Lovely. Thank you so much, Puneet, for being here, for sharing your story and your journey with us on Let's Talk Vitiligo. Thank you so much. And it was lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Same here. Like, thank you for having me. I can say, giving a platform for us to speak, share our stories and all.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it
we
is
some
common.